Okay, today we're going to look at subarray sum equals K. This problem is giving you a nums integer array and a K. That's a target that we need to hit. So meaning that within this nums array, do we have and how many of those subarrays, when you sum them up, those values equal to K? So just using a brute force solution would be to take all the possible subarrays of nums. That would be inefficient. It would be runtime of big O of n squared. How can we think of this in a better solution? Is to use prefix sums. So prefix sums, an analogy is like this. If we're traveling and we hit mile marker 5, then we hit mile marker 12. What's the difference between 12 minus 7? Is 12 minus 5 is 7. So from 5 to 12 is a subarray or a distance of 7. So like, let's say our K equals 7, right? We've seen 5 before. So like at the current moment, 12. 12 minus the K, which is 7, is 5. If we've seen 5 before, then we can uptick our count saying like, yes, we have a subarray or distance of 7. Prefix sums is what we'll use. So let's go ahead and first start with a map that will keep track of our prefix sums and how many times we've seen them so far. Also, we'll need a few more variables. So we need a counter initialized to 0 that will say like how many subarrays equal to K. So at the end, we'll just return that. Then we need, what else do we need here? A prefix sum. Okay, so initially at the beginning, it's just 0, but as we walk through the array, we just keep adding to it. Okay, lastly, we need to update our frequency map initially with a value. So frequency that puts 0, 1. That will basically take care of subarrays starting at index 0, like starting at 0, that's equal to K. Now let's set up our for loop and walk through the nums array. First thing we do is update our prefix. Prefix sum plus equal nums I. Great. Next, we need to check if prefix sum minus K exists in map. If it does, we know that we can uptick our count. Okay? So if frequency map get prefix sum minus K is not equal to null, then uptick our count, right? But we need to count, like uptick it by the value, actually. So like we need to do this. Count plus equal frequency that get prefix sum minus K. Great. After that, we always update our map with the current prefix sum. So frequency that put prefix sum with a value. So we need to do this. Frequency that get default prefix sum. Put it to 0 the default. And plus 1. Okay. So that will be our for loop that will go through the values once. And then at the end, return the pound. Let's just double check our work here. PrefixSum minus K. So if the map contains that difference, then update our count by the value of that. How many times we have seen that. Okay. Yeah. Great. And submit. Awesome. This better solution using the prefix sums goes through the nums array once. So the time complexity is just big O of n. We do have a map here, right? So thinking about the space complexity, we have a map that will store our frequencies. And we have a space complexity then of big O of n also. Thank you for watching. See you at the next one.